So the report put out by the American Association of University Women is pretty devastating in its contents about sexual or gender harassment in middle and high schools that kids are suffering right now. Nearly half, I think 48% of all students surveyed report this kind of harassment. And it's not physical assault so much as it is the verbal or electronic assault, attacking someone because of their perceived gender identification, using the term whore against a girl in middle school who happens to have a lot of male friends. You want another example of that? You know, I blame the Republicans and the Christian evangelicals for this. Actually, not just the Christian evangelicals, but most religions are pretty corrupt where it concerns human sexuality. They really are. They add to, if not openly promote, the idea of sexual harassment against anyone who is a slight deviation, no pun intended, from what the Christians or the Muslims or the Jews see as the ideal, God's ideal, one man, one woman, yada, yada, yada. And the result of this persecution by Christians. Now, these are the ones who are always screaming that they're being persecuted, which is a perfect defensive tactic. The best defense is a strong offense. This is what they do. But let me give you an example. In Massachusetts, when was it? On Saturday, I believe, Elizabeth Warren held a town meeting. She's running against Scott Brown, the senator there, the Republican senator. And Elizabeth Warren was stating her case. She was at a town hall meeting, letting people know what her positions were. Now, Elizabeth Warren is a liberal. She believes in using government to protect citizens from the kind of predation that we're all experiencing now. The stinking, lying, cheating, filthy, thievery, murderous, raping, economic rape in this country. And Elizabeth Warren advocates having strong guidelines and laws against this and locking people up. So the teabaggers were there. And if you saw that video, there's a guy leaning up against a wall. He's been out of work for a year, according to subsequent reports, and he calls her a socialist whore. In the middle of her speech, a socialist whore. For trying to save this poor, worthless bastard's life. She's a socialist whore, not a socialist operative, not a socialist scum, not a socialist a traitor, but a whore. Now, you can see the video at Huffington Post, and you can also see how Elizabeth Warren handled it. And, the best way to handle that kind of remark, sexual attack, which is all that is to ignore it, and which is exactly what she did. If you're an adult, now, if you're a kid, it's a little bit different. But the increased epidemic level incidence, according to the American Association of University Women, and you probably saw reporting on this report today if you watched any cable news, but the spike in the incidents, the number of incidents, and the viciousness. And I grant you that social media is assisting in publicizing this kind of hate speech against other kids, texting and what am I trying to say? Not YouTube, but Facebook and places like that where all of a sudden instead of just whispering as it was perhaps when I was in high school. Instead of whispering, hey, did you know Johnny's been out there having sex with Susie? Instead of, you whisper that to some other guy and or some other girl, and the whispers, and by noon it's gotten to maybe 10 people. Now, same remark put on social media by noon has traveled around the earth several times. So there's no escaping this for the kids. But where's it coming from? We can blame the larger society. Of course we can. The sexualization of kids. But it is certain factions within this culture that are doing this, in my opinion. And it is all from the hard right. There is no, any time an effort is made to have sex education in schools, it's the right-wingers who go berserk. They want their little darlings to be taught this right-wing Christian garbage at home about, the queers are all going to hell and whatever other kinds of bigotry and prejudices that these parents can inject into their children. And the kids pick up on this, and they see the hypocrisy. They see Herman Cain. I know. Okay, all right. Let's. I'm not trying to get crazy on you and suggest that a 13-year-old is going to be that tuned in to what passes for politics in this country, this filth, this gutter crap. But they do pick it up. They hear their parents talking about. They might hear it on a news break during listening to music on the radio. If kids still listen to the radio, you know what I'm saying. They do pick it up. And they may hear that Herman Cain, according to the pundits, not according to Cain, but according to the pundits, according to Cain, he never did anything, but according to the political pundits, Herman Cain will demonstrate whether or not he is ready to be president of the United States according to how he handles charges of sexual harassment by what's it up to now? 5 people? That has become not how much you know about political science. Well, somebody asked me about Becca, Stan. I'll just look at him and say, well, what do you know about it? I mean, this is insane. So the pundits will tell you now, they've been telling you all day, haven't they? Well, this is a challenge for Herman Cain because if he can withstand these kinds of sexual charges and do it well, that means he's ready to handle the office of the presidency. Wow. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Keep it lit. Keep it lit. I'm Mike Malloy.